Bayt Muhammad, O Ahl Bayt of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, faqirukum aril jasad, this faqir of yours has nothing to wear, my body is bare. فَعَمَدْتُ إِلَى الْقَمِيصِ, he was asking any old cloth, qamis and shirt, if you people have, give it to me, because my body is bare, I have nothing to wear. So Sayyedah Zahra says, فَعَمَدْتُ إِلَى الْقَمِيصِ الْجَدِيدِ فَدَفَعْتُهُ إِلَيْهِ, I gave him the new shirt. وَلَبِسْتُ الْقَمِيصَ الْخَلِقِ, and I wore the old shirt. So at the time of marriage, she went to the house of her husband with the old shirt. قالت يا أبا الحسن فلما أصبحت عندك بالقميص الخلق, when I came to you with the old shirt, دخل رسول الله علي, Prophet came to see me, and Prophet said, يا بني أليس قد كان لك القميص الجديد, didn't you have a new shirt? فلما لم لا تلبسيه, why didn't you wear that one? And so I replied to my father, Ya Abba, tasaddaqtuha lisa'il, I gave it as sadaqah to a beggar. فقال نعم. So now Sayyedah Zahra says to her father, إنك لما تزوجت بأم خديجة, when you, Prophet did the similar thing as well, right? So she's saying to her dad, when you married my mom Khadija, وأنفقت جميع ما أعطتك في طاعة المولى, and she gave away all what, in the obedience of Mawla, means Allah. That Hazrat Khadija sallallahu alaihi gave all of her wealth to the Holy Prophet to be spent for the sake of Allah. So she gave all the wealth to the Prophet to spend it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hatta the situation reached the level that أن وقف ببابك بعض السائلين, some of the beggars came at your door, فأعطيته قميصك, you gave away your shirt, والتحفت بالحصير, and you wrapped your body in the skin of a tree. حتى نزل جبرائيل بهذه الآية, until Jibreel came down with this ayat of Quran, وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ فَتَقْعُدَ مَلُومًا مَحْسُورًا. So which the ayat of Quran relates to the fact that do not keep your وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ, do not keep your hand chained to your neck. وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ, nor open it all together, or you will sit blameworthy and regretful. So Prophet's sakha and sakhawat and generosity was so much that he gave away his own shirt, and now he's left with no shirt. He had only one and he gave it away. Sayyedah Zahra had two and she gave away the new one. So Prophet wrapped up with the skin of the tree on his body. فَبَكَى النَّبِيُّ, Prophet started to cry when she replies this to the Prophet after the marriage. ثُمَّ ضَمَّنِي إِلَى صَدْرِهِ, Prophet hugged me. فَنَزَلَ جِبْرَائِيل, Jibreel arrived, وَقَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَقْرَأُكَ السَّلَامَ وَيَقُولُ لَكَ اقْرَأ عَلَى فَاطِمَةَ السَّلَامَ. Allah is saying salam to you, and Allah is saying say salam to Fatima. وَقُلْ لَهَا تَطْلُبْ مَا شَاءَتْ, and say to Fatima, ask what you want. The blank check from Allah. وَلَوْ طَلَبَتْ مَا فِي الْخَضْرَاء وَالْغَبْرَاء, if she asks whatever is in the heaven and whatever is on the earth. Basically Allah is willing to give everything to Sayyedah Fatima alayhi salam. So وَبَشِّرْهَا أَنِّي أُحِبُّهَا, and give her the basharat and the glad tidings that I love her. This is what Allah is conveying through Jibreel. فَقَالَ لِي بُنَيَّ إِنَّ رَبَّكِ يُسَلِّمْ عَلَيْكِ وَيَقُولُ لَكِ اطلبي ما شئتِ. Prophet said, Hazrat Zahra is talking to Imam Ali before her martyrdom. The Prophet said to me, ask whatever you want. So فَقُلْتُ, then I said, Ya Abata, قَدْ شَغَلَنِي لَذَّةُ خِدْمَتِهِ عَنْ مَسْأَلَتِهِ. The pleasure of serving and ibadat, servitude and ibadat towards Allah, the pleasure of ibadat of Allah has engaged me away from asking anything from Him. لا حاجة لي غير النظر إلى وجهه الكريم. I have no need except looking at His Kareem face of Allah, the generous face and honorable face of Allah. So when Sayyedah Zahra, look at the ma'rifat of Sayyedah Zahra, look at the ishq and the deep love towards Allah. So she didn't ask nothing from Allah except what she stand in need is to keep looking at the beautiful, at the Kareem face of Allah. So now Prophet said to her, Ya Bunayya, irfa'i yadayki, raise your hands, raise both of your hands. Farafa'tu yadayya, I raised both of my hands. وَرَفَعَ يَدَيْهِ, Prophet also raised his hands. Hazrat Zahra is describing the reason why she said to Imam Ali to bury that container in her grave along with that bottle after Imam Ali lays him inside the grave. She's describing the reason about the container. رَفَعَ يَدَيْهِ, Prophet also raised his both hands. وَقَالَ اللَّهُمَّ, Prophet said, Allahumma اغفر لأمتي. Look at the dua of the Holy Prophet. Prophet said in his dua, after asking Sayyedah Zahra to raise both of her hands, he raised both of them. It's mustahab. And we do the dua, we raise our hands, right? That's in the, some of the narrations say, when you do the dua, raise your hands like a slave. Have you seen slaves, how they are begging in front of the masters? They have no choice, right? The likeness of a slave is irrelevant. He has to do what the master dictates. We are supposed to be like the same way. It's just that Allah gave us the freedom, didn't make us bound, but asked us to wishfully, with our consents, behave like abd and slave towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are also required to raise our hands towards Allah like a zaleel and modest and humble person. Sayyedah Zahra used to raise her hands, the Prophet used to raise her hands. They were the most modest among all. وَأَنَا أَقُولُ آمين. So Prophet said this dua, اغفر لأمتي, forgive my ummat. How much Prophet used to care about the mu'mineen and mu'minat. And I replied, Ameen. I said Ameen, that means she's praying to Allah to accept it. فَجَاءَ جِبْرَئِيل, Jibreel came, برسالة من الجليل قد غفرت. Jibreel came with the message of Allah who is majestic, that I have certainly forgiven. قد غفرت لعصاة أمتك, I have certainly forgiven the sinners of your nation. ممن في قلبه محبة فاطمة وأمها وأبي وبعلها وبنيها. Among all those people who have in their heart love of Fatima and her mother and her husband and her children. And now Prophet said, Uridu bidhalika sijlan, I want a document where it is documented, in other words, written document about that. In other words, فَأَمَرَ اللَّهُ جِبْرَئِيلَ أَنْ يَأْخُذَ سُنْدُسَةً خَضْرَاء وَسُنْدُسَةً بَيْضَاء وَكَانَ فِيهِمَا كَتَبَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ شَهِدَ جِبْرَئِيلُ وَمِيكَائِيلُ وَشَهِدَ الرَّسُولُ. So this is where Allah sent that, that silk cloth with the white, thing in it, and it was written, that writing was glittering with noor, that your Lord has written mercy upon himself. And this writing is put inside the container. This is the container. فَإِذَا كَانَ يَوْمَ وَفَاتِكِ, Prophet said, when the day of your death comes, فَعَلَيْكِ بِالْوَصِيَّةِ, you must do the wasiyyat and will, أَن يُوضَعَ فِي لَحَدِكِ, that this container is placed in your grave. فَإِذَا قَامَ النَّاسُ فِي الْقِيَامَةِ, when on the day of judgment people will be resurrected. وَانْقَطَعَ الْمُذْنِبُونَ, and the sinners will be taken away. وَسَحَبَتْهُمُ الزَّبَانِيَ إِلَى النَّارِ, and the angels assigned on the hellfire will drag the sinners towards the hellfire. فَسَلِّمِ الْوَدِيعَ, Prophet said, at that time, in other words, give me this amanat, this trust, entrusted trust. فَسَلِّمِ الْوَدِيعَ إِلَيَّ حَتَّى أَطْلُبْ مَا أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَيْكَ. So that would be the time where Prophet will ask what blessing and ni'mat Allah has awarded upon the Prophet and upon Sayyedah Fatima alayha salam. فَأَنْتِ وَأَبُوكِ رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, so you and your father are the mercy towards all the people of all the worlds. This is the long hadith and long conversation that happened between Sayyedah Fatima and Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And now she performs her wasiyat that bury me in the night time. Do not allow anyone who did dhulm upon me to participate. Those people who did upon Sayyedah Zahra alayhi salam should not be allowed to participate in the janazah, in the prayer of the dead person's prayer, on the prayer on Sayyedah Fatima alayhi salam, and carry the janazah in the night time. The tashiyul janazah should be done in the night time. This is how Sayyedah Zahra herself said in the wasiyyat. And she asked her janazah to be carried in the tabut, something which is raised from the top. So this is the haya and ghairat of Sayyedah Fatima, that her body is not visible from over the cloth that is placed over the body. So there is a tabut, there is something raised high that protects the haya and ghairat and hijab and satar of Sayyedah Fatima alayhi salam. She is a role model for all of us. And this is the same what was done in the janazah of Sayyedah Fatima, was carried in the night time when the eyes were sleeping, and there were only a handful of people from the ashab, 5 or 6 approximately, from the special muqarrab people, some ashab who were present, and the Banu Hashim, and the janazah is taken away, and Imam Ali alayhi salam is the one who buries Sayyedah Fatima, and he is the one who is placing the janazah of Sayyedah Fatima, the greatest woman in the grave. And no one can understand the pain of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah wa billah wa ala millati Rasulillah Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. قَدْ سَلَّمْتُكِ, Imam Ali alayhi salam is saying, سَلَّمْتُكِ أَيَّتُهَا الصِّدِّيقَةِ, I am submitting you, O Siddiqa, towards the person who is awla biki minni, who is closer to you than me. Imam Ali is talking about Rasulullah. So I am submitting you, O Siddiqa, to the one who is closer to you than me. وَرَضِيتُ لَكِ بِمَا رَضِيَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى لَكِ, and I am pleased about you with which Allah is pleased. Imam Ali is radi with the qada and qadar of Allah. And he is, and Imam Ali recites the ayat of Quran, مِنْهَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى. We have created you from the soil, and we will return you back towards the soil, and from there we will resurrect you from the soil. That's what we learned from the ayat, Imam Ali alayhi salam. So when he was laying down Sayyedah Zahra in her grave, there were 2 hands appearing. 2 hands that were appearing miraculously, similar to the hands of Rasulullah, receiving the body of Sayyedah Fatima inside the grave and placing it properly and comfortably inside the grave. According to the wasiyat of Sayyedah Zahra, all the things were performed, and now the soil is being put over the grave to cover up the grave. The soil is placed. Imam Ali commanded to sprinkle the water over the grave. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. My Mawla was crying next to the grave of Sayyedah Fatima. So much crying. There's no one to provide tasalli, no one to provide the comfort to Imam Ali alayhi salam. His comforter was Sayyedah Zahra. The comforter of Imam Ali has passed away. Now Imam Ali remains without a comforter. No one can provide comfort in this condolences and this huzn and sorrow. And in this situation, my Mawla was so much mahzoon. And Hassan and Hussein was so much mahzoon. But when we recall the incident of Ashura, we find there is no one to come. There is no one to come close to Imam al-Hussein in the final moments. My Mawla Imam al-Hussein's janaza, his body was raised over the arrows. It was only Sayyidah Zainab standing on Talla Zainabiyya, addressing against the Taghut. Yuqtalu Abu Abdullah wa anta tanzuru ilayh. That means, in other words, Imam al-Hussein is being killed and you are watching. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. إلهي بحق الزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها. يا الله 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 يا الله. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين واخذل الكفار والمنافقين. اللهم انصر من نصر الدين واخذل من خذل المسلمين. اللهم انصر واحفظ وأيد علماءنا الربانيين ومراجعنا الربانيين، لا سيما الولي الفقيه قائد المسلمين. اللهم انصر جيوش المسلمين وعساكر الموحدين. اللهم فك عن الأسراء المسلمين. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى وعجل في فرج مولانا صاحب الزمان، واجعلنا من أنصاره وأشياعه وأتباعه وأعوانه بجاه محمد وآله الطاهرين. Please recite one Surah Al-Fatiha and 3 times Surah Al-Ikhlas for the uncle of brother Sajjad who passed away.